want to introduce you Mary, who's very, very active in the Southeastern Guide Dogs. One of the reasons that I'm here is because she's my go-to when something goes wrong. She's done a few little tricky things, but it's such a wonderful program, and I really think you're going to enjoy Mary, who's been there for a while and knows the ins and outs. So thank you for coming. And this is Velvet, by the way.
And this is Marjorie, who most of you have met. Do I need to have a microphone?
Yes.
I do need to have it? Okay. I thought maybe I have such a loud voice that it would carry.
Much better.
Huh?
Much better.
Much better? How about that? Is that good?
That's good.
All right. So, obviously, Sharon and I are both volunteers at Southeastern Guide Dog, and today I'm going to talk to you about the campus, and I'm going to follow a theme. The theme is, you're going to love this one, Sharon. Without our breeder dogs, male and female, there will be no dogs. So they are very, very important. So my presentation is kind of around her and her process through what Velvet might go through, or what, how many did she have?
9.
She had 9, okay. So I have a couple of videos. I have pictures of Marjorie and her litters. She's had 4 litters, and she's had 40 puppies. Save that for this. Unfortunately, the Southeastern Guide Dog doesn't keep those 40. They usually keep about half, because we are a member of a consortium that handles the kennels around the United States and Canada. So it's called not overdoing the reproduction. You know, we have a whole genetics group at Southeastern, and the consortium, which we call ABC, they have genetics as well. So they may send a female someplace to be bred by one of their males, another kennel, or the males will come here, and I will, as I go through it, I do have kind of a record of who is who in her 40 puppies, but there's a lot of we don't know the answers to, because we're not allowed to know. But I did sneak a peek, and I did find one of her girls in Edmonton, Canada. So I'm very excited about that, because she looked just like her mom. And when I wrote to them and gave them all the litter number of this particular dog, and I have a couple of pictures of that dog because I was in love with that dog. It was the runt of the litter, of her 3rd litter. And she's up now in Edmonton. Her name is Charlie, Charlie, and she's already had 2 litters. And last I heard, they were waiting for her to go into heat, so we'll see what happens. Now, I'm not supposed to know that, by the way. It's a secret. So what I'm going to do now is to start and just give you an overview. Okay, I hope the sound comes through. No sound. Okay, we have to stop this for a second. Where is our IT guy? I'm just gonna try and.
Check the sound out there.
You hear that? Let's try it again.
Mine's working on the computer.
Oh, I was just clicking on my computer and turning the sound up. So, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, let's try here. Okay. Is there, I just upped the sound from here.
Yeah,
So that's coming through on here. Okay, we got it.
Southeastern
Dogs began in 1982 with a single vision: to help those who cannot see. Humble beginnings meant a farmhouse, 3 dogs, a single trainer, and one small step at a time. Because of our community of supporters, we now operate the most advanced training facilities of any service dog organization in the world. And we employ some of the most talented and innovative scientists and trainers in the working dog industry. Our experts train dogs of the highest pedigree for people with vision loss, veterans with disabilities, and children with significant challenges, such as vision loss or the loss of a parent in the military. It takes 2 years to raise and train each dog, and it all begins with the puppies born in our Puppy Academy. But these are no ordinary puppies, because we're creating the Olympic athletes of the service dog world. We combine art and science to create the healthiest, smartest dogs through our data-driven genetics and reproduction program. We start training our puppies when they are just days old, and every puppy receives a targeted, individualized education plan. At 10 weeks, the second phase of training begins, as we send our puppies home with volunteer puppy raisers to learn basic obedience, house manners, and socialization. We rely on about 300 puppy raisers in 7 states who return our pups in about a year for their college education. At freshman orientation, our animal behavior experts evaluate confidence and temperament, while our veterinarians evaluate hips, elbows, hearts, eyes, and overall health. Only dogs with the best health become working dogs. Our veterinary facilities rival top animal hospitals in the world, and we've taken veterinary care to a rare new level by merging the best of Eastern and Western medicine. At Canine University, our dogs begin college-level training to learn advanced skills for their future careers. After their training is complete, our dogs are ready to meet their new partners. Our trainers match each dog with the right recipient according to needs, lifestyle, pace, personality, and activity level. Once we create a strong match, we invite qualified applicants to join a class. It's the humans' turn to learn how to work confidently with their dogs. While in class, students live in private guest rooms and enjoy delicious meals in our full-service dining hall. After a busy schedule of hands-on learning, class lectures, and plenty of practice in nearby cities, students are ready to take on the world. We follow up with our teams for life, ensuring their ongoing success. Creating these human-dog connections is a big team effort. We care for over 1,000 dogs and support over 550 active teams, and all of our services are provided at no cost to recipients. We rely 100% on private donations and receive no government funding. And because of people like you, we give our dogs as gifts. Gifts of freedom, independence, confidence, courage, and hope. We invite you to share our vision and tap into the heart and passion that it takes to make a difference for people who cannot see and for those who have seen too much. Welcome to Southeastern Guide Dogs.
See, I figured you'd rather see dogs than listen to me. But I'll say a few things. And we're up to 1,200 teams now, as of 2022. And we've got about 600 volunteers. I'm a volunteer on campus. I work in the puppy nursery as an educator, which means that about 3 days old, I get to hold these little puppies and just massage them and rub their little noses. They don't see, their eyes are still closed. And it's a job somebody has to do, so I volunteer for that. And I volunteer as a breeder host. They don't have any more breeders. They've all been spayed. I have 3 dogs at home. The last one was just spayed a week ago. But Marjorie and I do ambassador work, and she's also a therapy dog. So we've been going to some elementary schools, and I told her she has to work, so. Okay, so the key is with our programs, our dogs offer freedom. And I think you got that message from the video as well. I cannot tell you some of the stuff that I read, and I've got stuff on the table if you want to take them and read their stories, or just go on guidedogs.org and you can read the stories of the people, veterans, people who've lost their sight, children, and they've posted a lot of the stories there, and it's, some of it just, gets you pretty upset, and then, just ignore her, because this is what she does to get attention, sorry. So, as you heard, people with vision loss, this was originally how Southeastern Guide Dogs started. And they get 40 cues. Can you imagine 40 cues? I mean, if you tell me to sit and stay, that's 2. That's enough for me. But it's amazing to watch from a puppy to a puppy raiser dog. The puppy raisers keep them for about a year, and then they come in for training, turn in their dog, and many of them turn around and get another puppy. I have some brochures there if anyone is interested in being a puppy raiser. That's very, very cool. And you can get a buddy, get a partner who will share that with you. Kids Companion Dog, working with kids is new the last couple of years, and they're losing or have already lost their vision, and this helps give them the confidence to go back to school and not to be bullied. The interesting thing, I don't know if it applies to kids, but it applies to adults, that if anyone gets a guide dog, they have to be white cane trained. Say that 3 times fast, it's very hard. But I think it's the balance part, probably. I went and held a dog and I put the goggles on, and I was terrified to walk without seeing. So the white cane is definitely some of the training that is already over. The veterans, there's a lot of stories about the vets, and we've been giving a lot more service dogs out, which I think is great. They only have to learn 15 to 20 cues in there normally. They have their seeing, they have their ability to see. We do have some vets that had a guide dog. I had one dog that I sponsored, Jason, who was paired with a vet who could see, but he was in a wheelchair. And so the training of Jason was on a wheelchair with other trainers, and then they took that whole training to where this man lived. And also facility therapy dogs. I don't know if anyone saw, trying to think of which president it was that had his dog and they brought it back to Maryland.
President Bush.
It was it? Okay. Senior, right. And it was Scully, I think the name.
Yeah.
And so they brought Scully back and became part of the team in the facilities. And it's amazing to watch them because they know, they can feel the endorphins that you release. And when they walk around the facility, if they smell a problem, they'll stop in front of that person. Maybe lay down, let the person pat them, and then they'll move on. But that tells the handler, report this guy to his doctor and find out what's going on. Emotional support dogs, as you can imagine, PTSD is nightmares that never end. And the Gold Star family dogs go to a family that has a military member of the family that they've lost. The service dog cues, I know 4 of the cues. And it's interesting. One is watch my front, because he doesn't want to be scared, or he needs his space as a vet, or she. Watch my back, that's even more important because he has no idea who's coming behind him. Find the exit, find home. That's 4. And the 5th one that I know, which I absolutely love, is give me a hug. I've been teaching my dogs that. So, this has probably become one of our biggest services. And as it said in the film, these dogs, these people, and they're what we call forever dogs, get contact with the graduation department, where they'll call and check up on them. They get food from the sponsor. From gives them all free food, and somebody has given from their foundation enough money to pay for vet bills when they leave the campus. So, and of course the dogs are free, their rooms are free, they stay about 3 weeks in training, and we used to have a graduation and there were boxes of tissues at every table. I mean, it was just what they would go through, and so there's nothing that they have to worry about from a financial standpoint. Okay, children and teens, we have guide dogs, teens that have lost their vision, and to help them become independent. A companion dog, which has children who have lost their vision but are younger, and it gives them a chance to practice and get a future guide dog who would be obviously much bigger. And the Gold Star families I talked to you about. So my theme really is this organization could not be successful. Well, there's a bunch of reasons why they cannot be successful. And one of them is to have the breeder dogs. I think they are the fulcrum of their work. Without the breeder dogs, and these dogs are tested ad nauseum. They test their blood, they test their genetics, they test everything. Marjorie is an ABC dog, so that's why I said 40 out of the 40 pups, 50% of her dogs go elsewhere. But we get dogs from elsewhere as well. We get puppies. So we got Marjorie. There she is, as a puppy. And she was born in Susquehanna, Pennsylvania. And about this age, which is probably about 8 to 9 weeks old, she was shipped down to Southeastern Guide Dogs campus and was then transferred to a woman who became her puppy raiser and raised her in North Carolina. So just because I happen to have the pictures, here's Mom. Mom's name is Berlin and was from Susquehanna. And here's Dad. Maestro, it looks like the Maestro, doesn't he? And that's her dad, and he's from New York, Guiding Eyes of the Blind, a little north of the city, around Westchester area, Rye or Scarsdale, that area, and that place is still in existence. So Marjorie ended up being with a lovely lady, Lynn, who raised her. This is puppy raiser in training, a little. She definitely likes attention. And here it looks like she's about ready to come in for training. And this is the way I was able to spot the dog in Canada, because her puppies look just like that if they're yellow. They're the spitting image of them, so it's pretty easy to find them. So here I took Marjorie and I became her breeder host. She had to meet Cricket. This was my first dog, but they did not breed her. She had a lot of allergies. So they gave her some kind of a chemical birth control because she had a sister that had puppies on one side of the calendar, and they wanted, her name is Cricket, and they would have bred her on the other side, but they eventually chose not to. But you can see Marjorie and Cricket get along very well. We do the test. Anytime I bring home a dog, if I sit for a puppy raiser or something like that, or sit for a breeder host, we have to get Cricket's permission. First litter, all black. And you're gonna go, how did that happen? Well, I don't know whether you remember your 9th grade science. I remember I learned this in 9th grade about genetics and DNA. And Dad, big boy Cassius, and he was a big dog, came to our campus to be Marjorie's stud. She didn't like it very much, by the way. You can see that there are colored strings around their necks. This is the order that they are born. And until they get microchipped, you really have to keep track because you're assessing the puppies, and if something's wrong, you have to know that, and you have to know who's who. So we have tags that hang on the whelping rooms that have the names of the mom and the dad, and if it's a silver, that's number 1. And these 8 puppies were the CC litter. We name our puppies, we give them their numbers by the month that they're born in. So obviously if we've got puppies that are born in January, they go A, B, C, and so forth. And then you double the letters. So 5 males and 3 females. And we have, in this group, 2 breeders, 1 breeder, we've got a guide dog, we've got a service dog. I'm gonna just give you the total at the end of this, just so you know, but sometimes it says status unknown, and they may know it, they may not know it, they don't tell me those things. I have to find out myself. Don't tell anybody. Anyway, Cassius had a BB genetics, the genes. B is the dominant color, black. So it didn't matter because he had all the BBs, he didn't have any Ys in his system. So that's why she had all black puppies. Oh, 2 became guide dogs, 1 a companion dog. The companion dog went to California, whose name is Paddington. Tell me that's not the cutest name in the world. You can sponsor a dog by naming them. If you want to name a dog for a dog that you've had, or a person that's really made an influence in your life. So we have that's a way that we can collect some money, is by having a sponsored dog. Now I've sponsored, I don't know how many dogs, for all my cats. You can tell I came from New York. So I had a cat in a New York apartment, moved up to Hartford, Connecticut, and I still had cats, and I rescued cats. So all the dogs that I sponsored had my cat names. This is, by the time they get to feeding this way, they're just about ready to go into kindergarten. So in our puppy kennel, we have the nursery, which is pre-kindergarten, and then the other side, which are the larger puppies, and that's where people will get their puppies to take home. Because they've already gone through education for 6 weeks with someone like myself. Okay, second litter. She was so fat,
Oh, wow.
I was petrified to leave her at home. 65 days is gestation for a big lab like that. It may be different for the small dogs. So I said, look, she's not gonna have any puppies in my living room, and I took her in 2 weeks early. They usually come in 1 week early. And there are 10 puppies here. She actually lost 1 puppy in birth. they call it a neonatal death. So she did have 11. And they grew, and they, 3 of them went to Fort Myers, to puppy raisers in Fort Myers. And the area coordinator, we call them ACs, Roy sent a note. And he'd never done this before. He sent a letter to the head of puppy raising services to tell her that the 3 dogs that they had in this litter were absolutely the best he's ever seen as a puppy raiser. And he named them the X Factors. That's where you get that name. So there we are. Now, one of the puppies in this group was named Penelope. I have a cat named Penelope. And they did a TV advertisement using Penelope as a puppy, and then another dog as a big dog, puppy growing up. And I don't know, I did not know about that until someone said, did you know that we made an ad using Penelope and we only took 1 take of that puppy? And she was perfect. So I'm gonna share that with you. How can I not, right? Let's see if we can get this going.
I may look like all the other dogs, but I was born for a purpose. To one day be your companion, your eyes to see the world. I'll be your courage, your friend. With me, you'll find your freedom and hope for a better future. A dog I'm not. I'm a Southeastern Guide Dog.
Tell me how cute she is, right? I mean, honestly, these are my grandpups, I call them. I have great grandpups around her as well. Moving on to her 3rd litter. So she was bred to a yellow big dog, and so she has a mix of black and yellow puppies, and there are 11 of them in there. Her dad was Chandler, a beautiful black dog who serviced the dogs for about a year and then went into training and became a guide dog. So that was nice. So you're wondering why I have this little puppy. Tell me she's not cute. She's adorable. She was the last of the litter born, so her color was pink. I called her Pink, and she wouldn't take anything from any of her other litter mates. You know, when they get to be a certain age, they start jumping on each other and biting each other and fighting, and she would just shoot them off. This is the one I found in Canada. I was so happy to see her grown up, and she is a breeder now. The other breeder we have out of this group is Stark. You can't tell when they're black how much they look like there. She might, and she doesn't even look like Dad. So Stark is still breeding, and so I don't know. They were waiting. I work with her his breeder host, in the nursery, and she said that she's just waiting to bring them up to campus. So 11 puppies, half went out. And I did another puppy, in this group. I always try to name a puppy in the group. And this one, look how cute, Puppy Charlie. That's my other Charlie. And she was raised up in McDill Airfield. We have a very large puppy raising group up there. And because they're in the service kind of puppy raising group, most of the dogs that they raise will become service dogs. It just happens that way. And I think we have another group up in Savannah that also has a puppy raising group, and it's an Air Force field of some sort. And here is Tanya. I hadn't met her when she got her dog, but she has PTSD. She had trouble dealing with her family or kids, and this dog has just made her come out of her shell. And this was a walkathon 2 years ago, I think. where I saw her and I said, oh, look at Charlie. I got so excited. So Marjorie, who really didn't care too much, and Charlie. Now, one other dog is around. I think she's kind of an ambassador dog. Her name is Sloopy. And Sloopy was trained to smell COVID smell. So she would smell people that came on campus, because we have a rule on campus, you must wear a mask or you're out. We've had people who have COVID, we have people who are not vaccinated, and it's not, I don't think it's that the dogs can get or receive this, but they just want everybody to be safe. There's a lot of volunteers that keep these kennels going, and they want them to be healthy. And of course, the trainers, you can't forget the trainers. But the volunteers outnumber the number of trainers. And the trainers, during the pandemic when everything shut down, they took the pups, the older dogs home, and did the training at their house. So it was very cool. So this was fun meeting Charlie, and it was really nice to meet Tanya. And as I said, she's come out of the shell really nicely. Okay, fourth and final litter. You guys keeping track now? All yellow. Mac is the daddy. This is how they usually make the announcements. They show the mom, they show the dad, and the ultrasound. And I'm there when they do the ultrasound, but I can't see what they see. You know, they say, oh, she's gonna have a lot. Well, she's been known to have a lot. And as you can see, 11 puppies, 8 males, 3 females. And they kept, the ABC group kept 7 of them, and we only kept 4. And unfortunately, 2 of them, well, it's really not unfortunate. 2 of them either just didn't want to be a guide dog or a service dog, or just didn't want to be trained, so they became pets. And the 2 that went out as pets went with their puppy raisers. So we have one, actually, just get these here. I brought a couple of pictures of the puppies that I sponsored. And here they are, I don't know, but one of the pups that went home as pet went to Arizona. I had the opportunity though to meet, his name is Georgie. I think that was my sponsored dog. Anyway, oh, this is Penelope. Okay, little puppy. Now she's grown up and coming into Canine University and will get trained. And at those days we had a luncheon for graduation. So I got to see the woman who got Penelope. And she's very, very blind. I saw her how she was reading her speech with Braille. And she had a computer in front of her. She was feeling the words. So this is Penelope, and that's the dog you saw. That did that. I'm no dog. I'm a Southeastern Guide Dog. And Jason, who I mentioned, this was an early. I think this was the second or third one. Jason was absolutely fantastic. I love that dog. And he's just so sweet and playful. And as I mentioned, he was matched with a man in a wheelchair who lived in Arkansas, up in the mountains. I always seem to be at the right place at the right time or the wrong place. But I was in the main office reception area where the phone calls come in, and I heard the word Jason. And this guy who was answering the phone, he was also I think he had some seeing problems as well. And he's answering the phone and they're screaming, and I heard Jason. And I absolutely panic. I'm picturing this guy sitting in his wheelchair with a rifle on his lap.
Oh my.
That's what, I mean, he was way up in the mountains. So, I was looking for someone, I couldn't find anyone, I didn't know who to talk to, but the HR person said to me, Mary, don't worry about it, we'll take care of it. And then she told me on Friday that they were going up to get Jason. But the employees were number one importance, the dog was number two importance. And he came home, and he was fine. They put him in isolation because he was coming from the outside and then was gonna mix with the dogs again. And then I think it took maybe 5 weeks or so, where he was trained for as a guide dog. And he went with this, they asked this lady, she lives in a little north of Tampa, beautiful lady, and very classy the way she looks. I don't know how she does that when she can't see, but anyway, she said, look, I'm old, I can take an old dog, it's all right. I think Jason was about 4 or 5 years old when he went to her, and she just loved him to death. Unfortunately, about a month ago, she posted that Jason had cancer, and she had no idea how long he had, and he was gone the next day. So I cried. I've lost a couple of dogs that I have sponsored, and I cried like it's my own. It is my own, sort of. So anyway, this was the fourth and final litter, and they did a very, very cute advertisement, and since there were 11, and they all looked alike, they would just film whatever and then cut and paste to come up with a TV advertisement. I don't know if anyone has seen this, but this is very cool.
This little guy is one lucky puppy. He has the chance to do something amazing. Become a guide dog, a lifeline to someone who is blind. But he'll only get that chance with your help. Sponsor a puppy for as little as $19 a month and change your life. You'll get regular pup dates and photos and the joy of helping your puppy reach its destiny. Sponsor your puppy now at guidedogs.org/puppy.
That's Marjorie's last litter. She turned 5. She had 4 litter, so she was retired. We saw that. The 2 dogs that did stay here, out of the 4, this lady got the dog Wave, who was raised in someplace in Georgia, I think. Robin Thorson is a woman on the go. Back in 2006, Robin suffered a stroke that took away her vision in an instant. A former registered nurse, she was delighted to receive her first guide dog in 2010, a lively girl named Florence. Flo gave her a sense of independence and mobility until this sweet dog was retired in 2019. A lot of these people, the family will adopt, and sometimes we have an adoption list, and sometimes the dog goes back on the adoption list if family doesn't, or family or the puppy raiser does not take the dog back. Now Robin's successor dog, Wave, will bring her out of her shell, and she will start doing more things on her own as she did with Flo. Savannah, that's where Wave is from. The other dog, this is very cool. This is Luca. Luca is 2. Destiny took him in as a foster child. He was born with septo-optic dysplasia, a disease that prevents the optic nerve from connecting the eyes with the brain. Destiny nicknamed him Junie because, like a juniper tree, Luca is strong and withstanding. You see how he's holding the white cane too? Now his best friend is a female yellow lab named Merlot. Merlot is just a super snuggler and so sweet with Luca, Destiny says. The love and attention give Luca extra confidence and help him prepare for a future guide dog. So Merlot was raised in the villages by Joe Ski and Alan Fiedler. So when she turned Merlot in, she went to the nursery or the kindergarten place and got another dog, Zinfandel. I think she has a thing for wine.
They're both wine.
Anyway, I have this list, which is the list of where Marjorie's puppies are and what they know and what they don't know. So I went through it, and here's what I found out. There are still 8 pups that are still in training or status unknown. 8 of them. 1 is the COVID scent detection, that's Sloopy. They met, and I was wondering whether they would know each other. I think so, not sure. 1 is a child companion, 9 pets, or they use the word release, they're gonna be adopted by someone. 5 breeders, so that's kind of cool for me, I like that her DNA is going to run through. 9 service dogs and 7 guide dogs, and that's 40 puppies total. So I'm gonna close, well, I have one more after the close. I'll close with this and then I wanna talk to you about a walkathon, if you don't mind. One more second.
Some people are blind from birth, and some lose vision in an instant. One day they're driving to work or looking into the eyes of a child, and the next day, the world goes dark. Some people go blind in combat, fighting for your freedom and mine. Veterans return home with post-traumatic stress disorder, nightmares, and flashbacks so severe that it feels safer and more sane to just never leave the house. When people lose their vision, it's easy to lose hope. When veterans lose hope, it's easy to give up everything. But there is hope. Hope can be found in the magic between humans and dogs. But it's not really magic. It's passion and sweat and the generosity of people like you. You help us give away highly trained dogs to people who need them. You give the tens of thousands of dollars we need to breed, raise, and train a dog for 2 years. You fund our research and genetics, our whelping and puppy education. With your support, our experts have the resources to train our dogs and match them with just the right person. Because you give, people with vision loss and veterans with disabilities can train on our campus for weeks with their new dogs. Because of you, they leave here with a friend. They leave here with hope and confidence and freedom. They go farther and they do more and live full, independent lives with a dog that never leaves their side. You are the magic. You connect our dogs with the people who need them. When you volunteer and fundraise for walkathons, when you raise a puppy, and donate to create the beautiful teams of people and dogs. We're Southeastern Guide Dogs, and we need you, because together we transform lives. Join us.
So, because we get no government support, I'm sure you can see how humans benefit from these dogs, especially when they're noisy. We have one big fundraising during the year, that's it. And the rest of the money that goes to Southeastern is by donors. And there's a walkathon here at Nathan Fenderson at, I think it's March 5th, oh, good, it says it, March 5th. It's a lot of fun. They've got groups of people that set up booths and stuff. I had her the last time in the kissing booth. Done. So, and you don't have to walk, you can bring your own dog. We have a lot of people who bring their own dog, and those who are in the area that have Southeastern dogs, they usually come as well. We have several walkathons around the East Coast. I think there's one over on the West Coast. No, we're West Coast, on the East Coast. And we have St. Pete's, we have one. It's a good thing to do now. You know, I'm here talking about it, but I'll just tell you that not only am I a volunteer, but I am a donor. And I believe in this institution. I just cannot believe that they are able to get the bedrooms where the people sleep for 3 weeks. It was all donated by that's the place down on 41 that has all the rooms set up. They did the rooms to go. All the shower equipment and all of the food. I mean, everything comes to a person who gets the dog. There's no charge. We have to pay for salaries of the trainers. We have to pay for upkeeping of our buildings. And we've just built a few new buildings thanks to our doctor who's decided that these dogs need to be conditioned more if they're going to be really 24/7 with somebody, whether guide dog or service dog or companion dog. So these dogs are now going through conditioning, treadmills in the water. We have balancing things that they have to learn how to do. When I first put her in my pool, yes, she forgot she had back legs. They just dropped. You know, and I had to hold her up to swim. And that's exactly those dogs who did not swim under puppy raising. They don't realize that they have back legs. So we have it's a new program, huge conditioning program now. And we also built a gym for people that come, so they can have exercises themselves, not sit around and do nothing. And it gives them practice to bring their dog into the gym and do whatever it is they have to do. So, I just wanted to share this with you because this is the time of year. There are some things there that you would get from your raffles. This was from the raffle. Okay. There's a $1,000 raffle that's drawn at each walkathon location. And then the last one on April 30th is a virtual on Facebook Live under Southeastern Guide Dogs Facebook. And that's for $10,000. Can you imagine that? Anyway, if you care to do that and buy some raffles, we have some raffles at the table there, and also just a little donation jar. Any questions?
Where is your campus?
Good question. Campus is in Palmetto. It is actually where 75 going north turns off to 275. And usually what I do is I take that road and I get off at the 275 exit and then get off at 41, and it's right around the corner. When you're going the opposite way, you can see a big sign that says, "We raise guide dogs here," or something to that effect. I guess it's is it Ellington also? Yes, kind of a combination.
State-of-the-art facility.
I think that the address officially is Palmetto.
Next question.
Yes.
How do you know when the dogs need to go relieve themselves? Is that way the
She
way?
will sit there,
Okay.
and then she will go,
Okay.
So our velvet, we leave the leash by the door, and When she wants to go out, she goes and gets the leash and sits there with it in her
I
mouth.
see.
That's great. I wish
And I
my
was
dog
wondering
was-
if
She
they were
came
getting a
from
little
the,
anxious now.
mine came from the California School of and they,
Well, she's an ABC dog.
she's an ABC dog.
And what does ABC
It's
stand
the
for?
co-op, where we
Oh.
co-op with other parts of
It's
the
just
United
a-
I
States.
don't know what that means, but there's a name to the
I know
co-op.
what it was, reading something,
Breeding coat,
it's a co-op.
I thought it meant already been coached or something like that.
I believe, yes.
You might want to tell people about the,
I'm sorry, I can't
you might want to tell people about the tour and the blind experience that they have.
Oh, I don't think we have tours right now.
Yeah,
We used to have puppy hugging, which was fantastic. We have a program called Destiny, do you know the name of that program? Destiny, that's when you come into campus.
It's 3 o'clock.
Okay, was that mine?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You can find it on the website, guidedogs.org, and you pay a fee and then you go in, and in the cafeteria, I think that they give you
right. You
blindfolds.
simulate not being able to
Yes.
see you.
Sometimes they have dinners where you could eat blindfolded. I eat with my hands, I can't. It's, wow. Yes, sir.
We have a friend who does training of dogs for searches. Is there a similar, they live near the Appalachian Trail and they're often called out for searches on the Appalachian
Search and
Trail.
rescue, yes. We
Are there
have.
schools down here that do that as well?
Well, what we do is we give our puppies to, if they're not successful here, but they're very, their nose is working, and so we give them to police departments, K-9, and they have their own trainers to train those dogs. And search and rescue people, the food and the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, we give dogs to them as well, and we don't charge them. There are kennels like us, half the size, and they charge people to have the dog.
Big dollars.
It is big dollars, but I don't know what they pay for it. The last cost I heard, from the birth of the puppy to the dog grown up and going with their forever person, is about $60,000. Really? Yes. So I have friends that went on the adoption list, and now they have a dog that didn't finish puppy raising, and he had allergies or something like that. Usually these dogs, they're purebreds. And a lot of times they still have training in them if they're going out for adoption anyway. And a normal adopted dog would be $5,000 if the dog has an illness, like this one has, allergies. I don't know whether that's going to be a tough, but they charged him $1,000. They said, "Oh my God, we got this perfect." And so they're very happy with their dog, very, very happy.
You just have lambs, is that what you stick to? or-
Yes, well, Southeastern started with a lot of different dogs, not the three that you saw in the front, but we went for short-haired collies, Vichelus. I don't know if we did what's the ones that's the police dog?
German Shepherd.
German Shepherds. I
We
know
did
that
have
there's,
them way back,
yeah, and we just found that the dogs and the people that are being matched, they were better suited to Labradors and Golden Retrievers. And now, they found that Goldens just go, I just want to sit on the lap. I don't want to do anything else. So, the Goldens that we still have, if they're already gone into training, or they've gone to their forever person, some of them have become breeders and they're bred with a lab. And it's the puppies are called Goldadors. And my Cricket, the black one, is a Goldador. She had, I guess it was Dad that must have been a Golden. No, I don't know Crickets, I thought her. But yeah, I have 3 dogs now, 2 big dogs and 1 small dog. Her name is Buckeye, Anybody from Ohio? I went to Ohio State.
Oh.
So when I heard that there was a dog named Buckeye, how am I gonna get this dog? Because if you ask, you don't get anything. So it was just after a weekend where one of their winning games, there weren't too many this season, but I had my T-shirt that said Ohio State, and I went into the Lead Pro office, and I go Bucks! And then I turned around and left. So they said, they wrote me an email about a week later, said, guess what we have for you? We have a Buckeye. Buckeye had one litter, also had allergies, and that affected the birth of other pups that she did not have. But she had 5 beautiful pups out of that. And I don't know why somebody heard about Buckeye in the kennel. Word spread, and her puppies went out. There's one down in, was named by Pops Tiki down in Nokomis, I think, if anyone's gone
Oh,
there.
yeah, we know
Yeah,
this.
they raised money and they named Buckeye's white female a Tiki. And I was there for the first time and I just met the manager and she said, I think on Facebook you can see the pictures. And the 2 ladies that are raising her also raised one of Marjorie's first litter, who's a guide dog now. So, anyway, any other questions I can answer? Well, you're more than welcome to pat this dog. She just likes attention.